Where is he?
He's just come online, so he's still about.
It's live now.
He's still around then.
He's dancing with Madame Shirley.
Ah, I see.
Again.
That's what it is. Spending too much time with Madame... No, it's not Madame Shirley. On Wimbledon Common.
Ah. The ground, the ground.
Uncle Bulgaria.
Right, and we are now live on the live page too.
We are live.
Good.
Use of the things that we find. Things that the everyday folk sleeping fine. Uncle Bulgaria. Da 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 da.
Uncle Bulgaria.
I don't know the rest of the words either.
Once you'd got to Uncle Bulgaria, I'd lost bloody interest, frankly.
Hello, chat. Hello.
Oh, can chat see us now, can they? Well, they can't see me. No one can see me. This is great. I like this.
Who's got the
Who's got it playing back?
That'll be me.
Yeah, let's stop. Or muted.
Leanna Lawless has
Find
just
some headphones.
found some headphones.
Yes.
Dog, whatever you're doing, stop it.
It's trying to scratch the back of its head on the wall.
Really? Is that what you call it? It just sounded. It sounded quite muffled. The noises that were coming out, as though its muzzle was nestled somewhere where.
No.
No, once its muzzle's not.
There you go. Nice. Yeah.
I told you about the Provident Insurance one that came around my grandma and granddad's, didn't I? The dog sat there with its head between its legs doing what dogs do, and he says, by God, he says, I wish I could do that. My grandfather says, give him a biscuit, I'm sure he'll let you. The one thing that dogs do I've always been wanting to be able to do myself is that bit where they put their back legs up in the air and then they drag themselves along with their front paws to scratch their backsides on the coconut mat. It's got to be fun.
They have to specifically be a coconut mat, does it?
Dog!
It all seems to be.
Stop it.
Oh, Whip's talking about the 5 pound Sigelli tank.
Oh, Rob is apparently experiencing freezing.
Who is?
Rob
Is
Typhy.
Tell Rob to open the window.
Aye. Hang
Yes, it's warm outside.
Let the heat in.
Enough!
I'm sorry, sir.
We probably need to be bugging on around about now.
I shall put the bug on about now then. There we go. And we're live. And welcome to the melee thing. I never say it right, so I get told off. Right then, so joining us tonight, we have got the ever lovely, bountiful beautiliciousness that is Sav. Did I say that right?
I have no idea. Hello.
And we have Mr. David Dawn.
Hello, good evening. How are you all? It's lovely to see you. I should actually, given where we've been, hey up lad, how are they doing? You alright?
God.
And Mr. Iridian Man.
Hello.
Okay.
We of course have a Keith.
Good evening.
All right then, okay. And last but certainly by no means least, we have Kat.
Hello. Hello. Hello, everybody.
So there we go. That's the team for this evening. What are we talking about?
Your show, you say.
We're doing my show. That's Wednesdays.
Is it?
Oh,
Yeah, you know the one you're on, Rid.
Oh, yeah. Well, past couple of times it's been on Thursday.
Well, yeah, that's true enough.
I get confused.
So do I. It feels like the Wednesday show now all of a sudden. It's weird.
Yeah, too many hangouts in a week.
Yeah, I know, it gets confusing.
The man got quite confused. He really couldn't hack it. He sat in on the hangout and said, "Whose coat is this jacket?"
God,
You didn't hear all of them before the show started. I don't think they can be repeated, can they?
No,
I hope not.
no.
Not the one about the bucket, no.
No,
We're
send it
getting
all
an
right
echo
on the
on
bucket.
certain shots, apparently.
Sorry, what's that, Seth?
We're getting an echo from when it's just on you alone, Matt.
Okay, right, then we won't just have the camera on me then. No one gets to see me tonight, you lucky people.
How
Then
weird
carry
is
on.
that?
Hang on. I think I know what the problem is.
Hang on.
Da-da-da-da-da.
We apologise for the technical difficulties. They are being attended to as quickly as we can. Have you fixed it yet, Matt?
I think so. Hang on. Let's have a go now. How does that sound? Someone can tell me in a second.
I'm not getting any echo.
No, nor am I. I can hear me though.
No.
No, no, Matt, but I'm not listening to it. But chatter.
Oh, okay.
Everyone's listening to it, so.
Matty's echo, says the Anna Lawless. Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Simon's also feeling cold.
It's
Fixed
fixed.
now.
Lovely.
Fixed now.
Good. Right, we're happy.
Apparently, Matt, you're a goddess, according to Lal.
Well, I know that, but only at the weekends.
In those high heels and fishnets.
Yeah, that's the one.
Talking about high heels and fishnets, Cloud9 and testing juices.
That was a very tenuous link.
That
with
was.
high heels
Wait
and
to knock us
Yeah,
into line,
I
Mr. Dawn.
still don't get it.
You've
Now
met
someone
Lisa.
explain.
You've met Lisa.
Alright. That's what I mean.
So what's how then? Come on then, juices and all of these famous names that apparently are full of diacetyl and acetyl propionol. What's all that about then?
Well, I've got it up on the screen at the minute, so I'm not going to put the camera on me because that'd be silly because I'm reading this. We've got 6 liquids from a brand called Supreme E I've never heard of personally, or never tried at least. And they've been withdrawn for sale because they contain quite a large amount of diacetyl and acetylpropionol. Oh, I can't say that one. How's that say?
AP.
AP, yeah, that'll do.
Yeah.
So they haven't withdrawn the entire range, but the hazelnut coffee, Irish cream, RY4 pleasure, the pie, and vanilla have been withdrawn from the Cloud9 site.
Which other ones?
We've also got one from Mystic Juice, which again is a vanilla, and surprisingly to some people, 5 pawns. They've, based on their findings, Cloud9 have withdrawn the entire range of
Wow.
5 pawns e-liquid.
All I can say about 5 pawns is if they have to put that much diacetyl and AP in, they still can't make juices that taste good to me.
There is actually a note on the site as well saying it's worth noting that the 2,500 parts per million of AP detected in the 5 pawns absolute pin is the highest result that's ever been seen in any e-liquid so far.
Wow.
I'm gonna take it that really tastes creamy and buttery then.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Yes.
And yeah, that is not even I've come across numbers like that. That's oh, that's probably as high as like Scotch popcorn.
I find this so frustrating. It's like I said, I can't remember if it was last week, it was on one of the shows. We knew about flavourings like anything butter, butterscotch, vanilla, all that. We knew that they were a problem
Years
6
ago.
years ago.
Well, how many times did you and Kat on the Witching Hour go through this? How many times?
Hundreds. Hundreds.
The information has been out there for such a long time.
Hmm.
I mean, I can quite understand back in the day when the diacetyl thing first came up. I think there was a move towards acetylpropionyl because that wasn't diacetyl, but it had the same sort of flavour. And now we've discovered that it has the same sort of effect, potentially. And I can't understand, I just don't understand why any company, knowing that it was there, wouldn't flag it. After that, it's personal choice. Obviously, I know there are people that kind of say, well, look, I know what the risks are, the same as skydiving or skiing too fast or whatever, but at least they know. But if you don't know, and I'm saying in chat that apparently there are certain people hiding this from their Facebook page. I need to scroll back and find that.
Yeah, it makes you think they either know it's there and are willing to do that anyway, or they don't know it's there, which means they're not doing their research into what they're putting into their e-liquid. Either way, there's a problem.
Or alternatively, that their testing protocols aren't sensitive enough.
Yeah, all that, yeah.
Or they haven't got any testing protocols.
Yeah, that's really dire. It's like, TPT is asking for all this testing stuff. We haven't even got basic, basic from my point of view because I'm a chemist, but you need to have some sort of information there to say this is what's in my stuff. Your SDS, your safety data sheets tell you what stuff is in it, on the most part. So if there's anything that's classed as an irritant and nasties like diacetyl and AP, they would be on the SDS. According to my logic, because I've come across no SDS with those in. Because we specifically ask where I'm employed, you can't have any of those in there for us. And we double check it.
Right. Whip It Up 69 asks, what level is considered a safe level, if indeed there is such a safe level?
Right, the first thing is, the goalposts are always changing with diacetyl and AP, thanks to people, people like the FDA and food standards, because you can have enough of those to have an effect on the taste, but not to have any relative risk or any high relative risk. But we don't know exactly what the exposure thresholds are when it comes to heating up e-liquid, unless someone can tell me different.
Okay.
So that they've not yet found the level at which inhalation can be considered safe or minimal risk.
That's my understanding from the information I get from e-cigs, because e-cigs have in their new pass they have a permitted level of AP and diacetyl, but they would prefer to have it non-existent in the e-liquid.
Exactly. And that's what the FDA is saying as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, it's a bit like, going to buy a glass of beer and getting it tested and finding that there's 0.25% of domestos in it. I wouldn't want it there. And why would you? And it just seems to me that if it's possible to create these flavours without using either diacetyl or AP, then that's what they ought to be doing. And if it's not possible, then don't create the bloody flavours. Because at the moment we've got there are people who are doing their level best to wipe e-cigs off the face of the planet, and they'll latch onto any last bit of information they can get to use against us.
And there are people who are doing the exact opposite. So, they're doing their level best to get e-cigs accepted. And if that's the case, then we're all under an obligation to make sure every company out there that are producing juices are doing their level best, not to put e-cigs at risk.
Well, yes, and Whip's just come up with something. He's saying if the levels were as high as 0.25% and you normally only get 15 to 20% flavouring in juice, what percentage was in the actual flavouring?
Yeah.
Christ, that must have been over
a
one.
lot.
I've run out of fingers, but it's a lot.
Yeah, it's like for take that vanilla flavouring, or the 2 vanilla flavourings that were flagged up. Most of those flavourings would be vanilla, a very good percentage, probably no more than 10% of the vanilla concentrate would be the actual vanillin compound. But in relation to 0.25 of diacetyl or AP, it's a ridiculous number. I can't do the maths in my head, but just go in 0.25% in a 10 mil of stuff that we know can have a adverse effect, if you will.
I've just worked it out in my head. If it was 0.25% in something that was 20% flavouring, that would be 1.25% in the flavouring compound itself, the concentrate.
Yeah.
And that is so far above the levels of detection.
Oh God, you're looking at like 0.001 for certain testing protocols for AP and diacetyl.
Yes.
And possibly even lower with the very clever kit that analytical chemists and testing labs have.
Well, here's the daft bit. If it was 1.25% in the actual concentrate, I heard over the weekend, and this was bragged about, a range of juices that have 35% flavouring in the juice.
Yeah, I've read quite a lot about people putting that amount of flavouring in and things, and you think, really?
I personally have about 40% flavouring, but I know that it doesn't have any nasties in. Yes, certain compounds at an overall percentage this high can have an adverse effect, but I'm not like a mouse in a 2-meter square box covered in vapour for 6 hours a day. So that's because it's made by me, it's for myself, it's for no one else. And I'm a flavour fiend, so...
Yes. Neil Robinson's just come up with something that's interesting as well. He says, I guess it's the difference between naturally occurring sugars and added sugar. If you're adding AP and DA, then you deserve everything that happens to you.
Yeah, I'd go with that. Because if it's not sweet enough to begin with, well, it should be sweet enough to begin with,
Well, it should be if you're using glycerin in there. You don't really need all that.
We've just got to go by that top stuff that both Matt and I have tried neat. That is lovely and sweet, and it's a glycerin base, with the nicotine in, and it's so sweet. You didn't even need to put any ethyl maltol in it, Chris. That's how sweet it was.
Well, PG is sweet.
Yes.
But you add, glycerin as well. God, that's sweet enough for anybody's taste. Come on.
You would think.
You would think, wouldn't you?
Oh. Yes.
On that note, actually, I think I'd like to say, if once I actually manage to get a supply of that top juice, I think I'll probably move on to vaping that full time and nothing else, to be honest with you.
You did that while you had it?
No, I gave my stock of it to my dad, didn't I?
Yeah, I was going to say you only had it for 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, you vaped it constantly for 35 minutes and then gave it away. So the point still stands.
I
must
mean, vape
admit,
nothing
I'm
else ever.
more than happy to stick with making my own. And then I can change the flavour I'm using at my own discretion.
I'm gonna ask Keith his opinion on this because he doesn't DIY. So, what do you think, Keith, about all this adding extra sweetness and things?
Keith, you are muted currently.
Okay, maybe he doesn't want to answer me.
There we go.
I'm unmuting my mic now, so you might be able to hear me. So I've been thinking about this while you've all been talking about it, and I'm thinking, is there a case here, and would it be a popular move maybe for all juice manufacturers to make the SDS data sheets available for all juices, available to the public to have a look at? Well, to anybody, for anybody to have a look at if they wanted to.
You're going to have to come May the 20th next year.
Yeah.
Well, even before that, maybe.
Some companies have already put their testing stuff online. Example, Vapor Shark, because they, for example, and then
Is that for every juice though, or just for certain juices?
I believe it's for their own line because I checked the data on the juices I had.
But also keep in mind that Vapor Shark also got every single juice they carry tested as well.
Yeah. The Vapor Shark own brand juice are the ones that I looked at. So I guess it would be the case for everything they carry as a duty of care in America, because it's still quite different over here with their regulatory environment. But yeah, as Dave said, come TPD, we have to, manufacturers have to fully disclose what's in it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we've discussed it before about disclosing flavor raw material percentages, for example, and
Yeah, as a customer, I've got the right to know what the hell it is I'm vaping.
Of course you have.
well, yeah. From my point of view, there's no issue.
I mean, and I'm still seeing to this day. I'm not going to say vendors so much, but there are people out there, whether they be vendors or individuals who make their own, adding colouring. I'm sorry, I've got a huge problem with that. If it's not necessary, what the hell is it doing in there? You know, don't use it. Don't.
And that's in e-cigs pass anyway. That's if it doesn't affect the performance of the e-liquid, don't put it in. Light colourings.
Oh, yeah. If you want to make it look pretty, put it in a coloured bottle like that one.
Yeah.
You
Or
know?
buy a coloured tank if you want something.
Exactly
to look
right.
pretty
You
when
don't
you
need to have the liquid to be coloured.
I look pretty enough. I don't need colour in my liquid.
I don't look at my liquid when it's in the tank.
The way I was thinking about this SDS data sheet thing was, if they were all to do it pre-TPD, would it make things look better on the industry's part, if you know what I mean?
Well, it would make them look as though they're making an effort, wouldn't
Well,
The,
exactly.
the thing is, anybody that goes into any shop and buys anything has an expectation. And the expectation is that they're being dealt with fairly. That they're not going to be sold anything that is known to be or suspected to be dangerous. And this is out with all of the CE markings and everything else. This is when you go into a shop and buy some boiled ham or a pair of stockings or a car or a hat. You go in and you have an expectation that they're not going to sell you something that's either going to kill you or maim you or damage you in any way. And yet here we have a situation where there are vendors who are producing liquid stocks that would appear to have a risk to them. And when you go and buy a packet of fags, there's warnings all over them that, 1 in 2 people that use these as directed, blah, blah, blah. So you are told. in this situation, if there's something in there that has a risk attached to it, I think every customer has a right to know.
Yeah.
After that, they've got the right to make their own decision. But I think the sensible move would have to be to, as far as possible, eliminate all of the risks and eliminate all of the bullets that our opponents would fire at us. And that just makes sense to me. I mean, at the end of the day, it's their businesses, it's their livelihoods, it's their income that they're protecting, as well as everybody else's well-being. That was very serious.
Wasn't it?
Let's face it as well. You know, we're constantly saying that e-cigs are better for you than cigarettes, that sort of thing. It doesn't really help when you get something like this 5 points juice has got that much level of AP in it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like as the Health and Safety at Work Act, which I'm quite intimate with.
You dirty bugger.
I don't want to know what you do on your lunch break, Rid.
I know. But, you know, the key line is avoid foreseeable risks. And AP and diacetyl are foreseeable risks. We know it. Get rid of it. Risk reduced.
Absolutely right.
Yeah, well, vaping's supposed to be all about harm reduction.
Yeah.
To reduce the harm as much as possible.
I know when we spoke about the Vapor Shark results the other week, and I turned around and said, well, I can make an educated, informed decision, that sort of thing. But when it comes to something like these levels that have been discovered there, I'd steer clear of them myself.
Oh, God, yeah. I wouldn't go. It's like when Suicide Bunny got outed for their formulations. I was like, I knew there was something up with them, but you know, I just had a gut feeling just on smelling it.
We've got some figures. We actually have some figures from Reggie, who, in reply to Whip It Up, said the statement was diacetyl is safe at 66 parts per million, which is not an awful lot.
No.
AP is safe at 135 parts per million. And those figures you were saying, Matt, were 2,500 ppm?
Yes.
Jesus, wet tears of pity and anguish.
Yep. The lowest result of any of the 5 pawns is 300.
Oh, crikey.
Yeah.
Twice the limit.
Absolutely inexcusable.
Right,
Yeah,
should we take an advert break?
Yes.
Okay, back in, in a couple of minutes.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Award-winning service and products from cloud9vaping.co.uk.
Dripper selection boxes now come in 0 and 3mg strengths. So tell Dripper the kind of flavours you like and we'll send you 70ml of some of the world's most exciting flavours every month. With free delivery anywhere in Europe, treat yourself to a Dripper box today.
Dripper.co.uk.
And we're back. Hello. Right, so the camera's on me, you lucky fellas. Some of you might know I was in London last week on a course. So when I finished on Friday, I popped down to see me folks. I mean, they live fairly near London, so might as well, like, you know. And I said to my dad, I had a load of vaping gear with me because, well, I was away for a week, so I had to have lots of stuff, yeah. So I said to my dad, hey, do you want to have a play with a dripper? And this is the one he had to play with. And I called this, it's a dual coil, at 1 ohm. and I put his e-liquid in it, which is 24 milligram. I set it on my device at 30 watts and it made me choke. He had a go on it. Keep in mind, my dad's 70. He's been vaping for a year. He had a go on it and goes, oh, I'm not getting much out of this, and no vapour appeared from his mouth. He put it up to the full 80 and still didn't choke. I just couldn't believe it.
I do get the no vapour coming out of the mouth, because if you've known Kat as long as I've known her, she'll part with note, and I've seen her. I mean, I well remember this review you did, Kat, of the Janty stick.
Aye.
And it's still up on YouTube there somewhere. And she stood there talking away at the camera. She's sucking in like a good one. I mean, seriously, we're talking the suck of a golf ball going up a hose. That's how much pressure there was. And then she goes to open her lips, and what comes out?
Nothing.
Nout. For worse, no. I mean, Keith, you see little wisps come out when he does his little primer puff. With Chris, with Kat,
no.
It's like this.
No, I'm proud of my reputation.
So I like to point out, I'm gonna bring this up as close as I can to the camera. This was on full open that our dad was going on this, and it's not exactly a tight draw.
Can you show it down to the other camera?
Yeah, I can show you down there. It's just still air.
Ah.
All right, yeah.
Two air holes, full open, and even 80 watts. No vapour was parting from him.
That's a skill.
It is. I was impressed.
You didn't check any other orifices to see if it was being diverted out the window, did you?
Well, my old man is quite famous for his emissions.
Through, just, when you were talking about your dad, from Dave Kitson, of a dripper he was using, right? And I burst out laughing when I saw this photograph, because it had the most evil looking face on it, and I thought, has Dave had that specially made to look like him?
What, the owl?
Well, it did. And I thought it should be called the DK dripper, that one. Was I the only one that spotted that?
Apparently.
Apparently.
Or the only one that was going to say it.
I was going to mention it.
I don't know if I should say this actually, but what my missus actually says Dave Kitson looks like these days.
Wolverine.
A Furby.
Oh.
A Furby, yeah, he does a bit.
I shouldn't have really said that, but there we go.
That's just cruel. That is just cruel.
Facts are facts. You can't change them.
Well, I can't say much again.
That did look like him. I'll have to see if I can find the damn thing.
So anyway, I had to actually wrestle his dripper back off him. I think I might get him one for Christmas.
Well, you're going to make him wait that long?
Goodbye.
You what? Sorry, Rid?
You're going to make him wait that long?
Well, I've got to have something to buy him for Christmas, haven't I?
True.
So on that note, actually, have we got anyone here that's actually converted a family member?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
DK has just typed into chat, I'm here, Kat.
I know. At least I didn't say it behind his back.
Well, no. That's the one thing you can say about Kat. If she's going to talk behind your back, she does it in front of your face.
I do.
Hey.
Find the photograph, I'll show you.
Yeah, I agree with Max. Matt's dad is a rock star. 24. Mind you, I know someone that also drips 24 meg, but under half an ohm.
Well, if you remember me before, and I showed the video.
Half a gnome.
Yeah.
Half a gnome?
Half a gnome.
Oh, Davey's not here
We're
tonight.
talking about hobbits and gnomes again now.
Yeah, and Wells. Sorry, I've been speaking Welsh today, so I'm still quite nasally. Half an ohm.
Oh, ohm.
Yeah, ohm. Sorry.
That's alright then.
Been speaking Welsh?
Yeah. Phlegm everywhere.
Alright.
You didn't dislocate your tongue, did you?
Down in work.
The young man's been speaking Welsh, he really cannot hack it.
etc., etc.
He sits here in the hangout and shouts, "Whose coat is this jacket?"
Oh, oh. The starts are different, but the ending's the same.
Always,
Every
always.
time.
It's the best punchline in the world. You can put it on anything.
Should call you the Hurricane.
Bit like the jacket, Dave, you can hang it on anything.
Exactly right, Keith.
They should call you the Hurricane, Dave.
Why is that?
Starts with excitement, but ends with disaster. Especially with those puns.
Well, I'm afraid I'm having to say that my wife's called me that for many years. And sometimes even the little brown pills don't work. Yes, there's another additive that shouldn't be in e-juice.
Or phlegm.
No, the little brown... Oh, no.
Both of them, I would agree.
Yeah, no phlegm. I am not going to tell you what I've been hearing about while I was away. Apparently, I mean, there's some people who are trying to vape some really stupid things.
Again?
Oh, we're not talking about viscous liquids, are we?
Did you say snails?
Sailors.
I thought you said someone was trying to vape snails. That would be
No.
really stupid.
Sailors.
Really stupid stuff.
Yeah, I read about that a while ago.
Yes, vaping sailors.
Yes,
Yes.
for them submarines.
Well, that's how whales have oral sex, isn't it? Swim into a submarine, bite the tip off and suck the semen out.
I like it.
But the good thing is, if they do that now, they can actually have an after meal smoke.
You what?
They can have an after well, not a smoke, an after sex vape, can't they? Because they can vape in the submarines.
Yes, they can.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
I'm joining the Marines.
Hoorah!
It's all gone downhill quickly.
It didn't take long, does it?
Oh, Dave the Rayon's in on it. The goat stood on the burning deck, the cabin boy would whack it. I'm trying to shoo it off the deck, but whose goat is this? Placket.
Oh dear.
Oh, Whip It Up 69 raises something interesting.
Does he?
On another subject, apparently he has to lie every time he posts anything e-cig related now.
Sorry, say that again, Matt.
Every time Whip It Up 69 posts something e-cig related, he has to lie about it, apparently. Has anyone else had any trouble sending stuff through? Because I haven't.
I've had trouble. And I mean, not just e-cig related, I've had trouble with mobile phones and all sorts, and trying to make them understand their own rules is very difficult.
Sorry to say, I completely misunderstood and thought he was talking about posting on Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, I thought that.
All the old-fashioned things that go in the red boxes on the street.
No, it's dangerous going out to post things. We went to post 3 letters today and I came back with 2 new mods and God knows what else.
Hey, you really need a petition for a post box in your village, Dave.
No, we've got one, but anytime we post anything in there, it kind of doesn't get where it's going. But yes, sorry, I've diverted that. Yes, posting things. You've had problems, haven't you, Sal?
Yes, many times. We've got 2 post offices here. One of them, absolutely fine. They understand their own rules and they're quite happy. The other one, is there a battery in that? Yes. Can't post it. It's a battery, it's a sealed unit. Can't post it. What am I meant to do? Walk with it? It can be posted, it's a sealed... No, you have to take it out. Well, no, actually, I don't, because then I can't post it.
It's in a sealed identifiable box as a battery.
Yeah, I had an argument with a woman at the post office going, you can't post a mobile phone. Why? It's got a battery in it. I know. That's how they work.
Sorry, hang on, wait a minute. Sorry, you can't post this watch. Why? It's got a battery in it.
The answer, no matter what you bring to that post office, it's like, has it got a battery in it? Yes. Can't post it here.
See this automatic fist? Has it got a battery in it? Yes, it has.
Yes, and it works very well.
Yeah, unfortunately, you normally have bulletproof glass between your fist and their face.
Yes. Has this got a battery in it? Is it vibrating?
I'm very tempted to do that, because the next time she says, "Can you open it?" I'll be, "Feel free to open it and have a look at what it is." Feel free.
I dare you. I absolutely double duffer dare you.
And film it.
Oh, she's so annoying. And it's like, look, read your own rules.
Is she the only postie in the office that in your local post station?
She's the only one that I ever get. There's two of them, and they seem to know that if I'm going in with a parcel, they look at each other and she'll go, "I'll take it." It's like, damn it!
I am the only postie in this village.
Oh, here we go.
I mean,
Only postie in the village had a battery, couldn't pack it. So he took it down the street in the pocket of his jacket.
Oh dear. I wonder how these post people in that office of yours, Sam, I wonder how they think Apple gets their stuff out from the Apple store right by a post.
That was the thing. I was sending an iPhone, and they were going, "You have to take the battery out." And I'm like, that voids the warranty and breaks the phone. But you have to take the battery out. No, I really don't. They came here with the battery in it, and your postman took it to my door. And he didn't blow up. It was brilliant. So he can take it away again.
It's crazy. And let's just clarify this, and I think Rid did. If it's a battery operated device and the battery is in the device, then that's fine. What you can't do is just chuck a battery in an envelope.
No.
Any kind.
Wait a minute.
But if the battery's in a battery box, you can send a spare battery with the device that contains a battery.
And indeed, they had battery condoms at the show at Harrogate. And they were actually condoms with a split down the side. The kind my dad used about 9 months before I was born.
He got there before I did. No. Whoa. I'm fine. I walked into that one and I went,
yes, you did.
You were going to say something, Rid?
Yeah, that exactly what Sav said. It's like when I got my Touchwood as a birthday present, it came with two 26 650 batteries in a clear plastic battery box, and I didn't have. Oh, I picked it up. It was in the post box, outside the flat. It's not like
one of these, Rid, yeah. Like one of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It had a sticker on it. These are batteries. So I
mean, I read a story. I'll call it a story in the most liberal sense on the Daily Mail last night about that missing Malaysian Airlines flight, and it was one of these theories about what happened. And apparently, it was carrying lithium-ion batteries, laptop batteries, in the hold. And this man's theory is there was a lithium-ion battery fire which produced toxins which seeped into the cabin and knocked the cabin crew out, and that's how the plane went down, but nobody saw it happen, and it was all the battery's fault.
There are bigger batteries in a plane.
Yes, power in the plane. That was the latest story I read last night. I thought people really have it in for lithium-ion batteries at the minute.
Excuse me, Mr. Conspiracy Theorist, do you think these planes are charged by LR44 watch batteries?
Here's the other thing as well. You got the the Toyota Prius. That's running around with a massive amount of lithium-ion batteries in it. What happens when they crash?
Hang on, you've seen a hydrogen-powered bus.
Yes, that's true. I have. Yeah.
And look, boom! Look what happened to the Hindenburg.
Yeah.
Aye.
And that wasn't down to any lithium. Might have been the magnesium in the paint, but that's an entirely different story. No, I mean, yes, you're right about the Prius and all of these other hybrids and electronic vehicles. they're all powered by lithium ion, lithium polymer batteries mostly. The ones that people apparently are not keen on having in EVIC VTs, lithium polymer batteries.
Nicely done.
I sincerely hope that whoever it is that doesn't like having lithium polymer batteries in an EVIC VT never sticks his ass over the 1/4 of a ton of lithium polymer batteries that's underneath his seat in an electric car.
Yeah.
There are times I'm worried by people. I really am.
Here's the thing, actually. When I was in London, I was looking out the window a lot because that's what you do when you're bored. And pretty much every other car was a hybrid.
Really?
Yeah, seriously.
We're going to look at one on Wednesday.
We are indeed.
Ooh.
When you say hybrid, does it come with an engine and a horse to pull it occasionally for Pencoid?
Oh, close enough.
No, what I mean is he's got the atomizer built in and he hasn't got a 510 connection.
All right. I was going to, in Kat's case, it'll be a hybrid between a car and a bus.
Yeah.
She likes big ones. You do like big ones, don't you, Chris?
Yeah, it's called the Few for a reason.
It's called the what?
Few.
That's what she calls it.
Few. Every time you get in and out of it.
The Few. How's that?
PHEW.
That's what she calls it. It's not actually called that.
What's it actually called?
An Outlander. It's an Outlander. Fev, not Few. PHEV.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Right. Well, what you need to do then, Sav, do me a favour. Can you make sure Kat cleans her glasses before she goes the next day?
I'm not driving it. You're all right.
Oh, I get that on her.
On that note, adverts.
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds like a good time.
Back in a bit.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of vapetrails.tv.
LP Vape, UK purveyor of e-cigarettes and e-liquids. Proud sponsors of vaping entertainment on Vapor Trails TV.
And we're back. Right. What? Oh, Ridian, what are you giggling about?
No, nothing. No.
No?
Well, it's a silly thing to say unless you elaborate what's going to encourage smuggling of.
Wow. Apparently, according to the Today Online, that banning e-cigarettes would only encourage smuggling.
What, like budgie smuggling?
Well,
I've
I
got
don't know.
pirates in mind and all that whole thing. That
Oh, you mean lighting lamps on the beach and that sort of thing in the middle of the night? That sort of thing.
Full dark.
You just want Johnny Depp to deliver your e-cigs, don't you, sir?
I knew you two would get it round to Paul Dark.
Naked men.
All right, okay, you've asked for it. Right,
And that leads into the other type of smuggling.
right, lads, all the lads, get your shirts off.
Oh God, no! I'm not. No.
All right, shirts off, lads. Come on, let's get this right.
No objections for me.
That's a great change of shots.
Well, if we want to keep the ladies interested, apparently that's the only thing you can do, or have your shirt open and the hairy chest on view. Ooh.
Believe me, me keeping my shirt on keeps the ladies
Oh,
interested.
hang on. No, that's really nice. Oh. The question is, I mean, honestly, how the hell? It comes to where, you know, Dave Kitson was, as we were talking last week, going through Singapore and stuff like that, and you're dead right. If e-cigs get banned, you're going to find smuggling, the black market, isn't it? That's what it's called, the black market. Smuggling going on, people hiding mods in strange places. He said, being very, very careful about what he puts on screen next.
Especially white ones like that.
Aye,
Yes.
white ones. Yeah.
It wasn't me, Sam. I didn't do it.
Current smuggling white mods onto camera, does it?
Yeah, something like that.
Midge is asking, where's your mankini, Dave?
Well, you borrowed it. You haven't given me it back yet.
Ah, so that's what the sheep was doing with it. Ah.
A ramkini.
Radiant took out all his dogs. He went up the pit heap. He found a leader lion there, said, whose girlfriend is this sheep?
No, the other sheep one was better. Ever so slightly. Oh, crikey.
Yes, so smuggling. Right,
Aye,
look.
yes.
Let's be right about this. Let's be absolutely right about this. Even, actually, when the TPD is enacted, I was listening to a long spiel over the weekend, and I'm going to put a video up separately because it's too long for the show, for any show, talking about what will and won't be allowed, and what can and can't be allowed, and stuff like that. And in places where e-cigs get banned, they are being smuggled in. We know that. And the juices, and it comes back pretty much to where we started. It's bad enough now when the juice market, and I mean this is going to sound over dramatic, but when you're talking about the amount of diacetyl and AP that we were talking about earlier, can you imagine if there's zero regulation, if there's only smuggled and black market juices and devices about the place? What the hell effect will that have?
I'd go back smoking. I know that sounds depressing, but I like vaping too much. If I can't get my stuff in
I don't think I would want to go back, even on a temporary basis, for a day or two.
I wouldn't want to, and this is...
Go back to smoking now.
See, this is going to sound stupid, but if we got forced down the black market route, I'd be seriously tempted to go back to smoking, because at least you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
Whereas with black market juice and stuff, you haven't got a clue again.
I can't honestly say either way, to be honest with you. I honestly couldn't. I don't want to go back to smoking, but I don't know if I would or not.
Well, it's a case of if you can get the nicotine that you think is safe, and there should be a way of doing that within Europe.
Well, yeah, it's like you should be able to get food grade flavourings anyway.
Flavourings, yeah, that shouldn't be a problem.
But
PG and VG is not a problem.
Let's assume a really a proper black market scenario on the same sort of style as prohibition of alcohol in America. You wouldn't be able to get any stuff in, raw material wise, so what would a person like me do? I would go back to the nearest source of nicotine consumption, and that would be a cigarette. I know that goes against the entire principle of me taking up vaping in the first place, but maybe I'm the devil's advocate in this group now.
Well, what I would do is I would mix a juice minus the nicotine, so that I've got the flavour.
A lot of sort of long-term vapers would either go no nick or find a way, but a lot of new vapers and guys that don't even know that you can mix your own juice are straight back to cigarettes, aren't they?
Well, I can tell you now, there'd be no new vapors. Nobody that's smoking now, there'd be no new vapors. None of them would convert. Why would they? I mean, it'd be like picking up those bloody plastic tampon things that we used to get, the inhalators. They're about as much use as a chocolate fire guard.
And this is actually something that's worth pointing out. I mean, you know, us on the panel here, those in chat as well, the vast majority, we're all pretty much set. If we got banned tomorrow, we could go on for a while. But it's not about us, is it?
No.
It's about those that come after.
We've never said it's about us.
No.
But it's those people who think, oh, I'm fine.
Yes.
And we're coming across old ground again. So.
Yeah, I know. But I thought it was worth mentioning. Can I ask a question of Kat, actually, if you don't mind?
Go ahead.
We know for one reason or the other you've not been able to use an e-cig as much as you normally would have done recently. Have you missed the nicotine?
Not in the bloody slightest. And this is what I found quite unusual, because first time I went into hospital, I took my e-cig with me, and I had the odd vape here and there, and quite enjoyed it. And I got told by 2 or 3 members of staff, "Oh, you do know you're not allowed to use that on the ward." And they named reasons for it. They said about the batteries are not safe. That was the excuse I was given. And I thought, okay, I don't have a problem with this, and to prove it, and I just put the e-cig in the drawer. Now, I took it home with me, and the next time I had to go in, I thought, I'm not even going to bother taking this with us. And I honestly, and I'm not lying to you, had no withdrawal at all. None whatsoever. So, and I've been saying this for a long time, as Dave knows, I'm now in charge of the nicotine. It doesn't rule me anymore. I'm not addicted to it. Now, I had this conversation with the Macmillan nurse today, and he was in full agreement with me and said, yeah, it's the habit. And that's the thing that people are addicted to, and that they find hard to give up. Because he's all for e-cigs. He thinks they're a great idea. But obviously, like everybody else, wants to see more research done, etc., etc. And I said, well, one thing I do know for certain, I've proved it to myself now, that the nicotine is not addictive. And he said exactly the same. He says, I've been saying that for donkey shoes. It's not addictive, and it's not compared to the other chemicals that are in a cigarette.
On that note, Kat, will you be getting your Macmillan nurse to sign up to move?
I've got a lot of things in mind for Macmillan that they're not aware of at the moment.
Yes, and I'm going to butt in here now and say I've heard the description of this young chap, and I've actually met him before. And yeah, the things you've got in mind, Chris, are not services that Macmillan normally provide.
We've been talking about this because I believe very, very strongly that the experience that Sav and I, Dave, Daz, everybody locally up here, and all of you as well, in your part of the world, have a lot of experience that can be used to help services such as Macmillan.
Yeah.
One thing I spoke to him about today was the fact that Ron, my husband, was told he had a life expectancy of 9 months. At that point, we got him off cigarettes and onto an e-cig, and he lived another 2.5 years. So that to me says quite a lot. Now, Macmillan, just the same as Marie Curie and the various other charities out there, deal with a lot of people like Ron who have got a diagnosis of terminal cancer but could have a better standard of life, a better quality of life, should they switch even at that point. And those are the sort of, that's where our experience comes in. We can't make claims, but we can certainly be there to help and guide.
Here. Well said.
But we can help and guide, and that's, as I say, I've got quite a few ideas going in my head. And I'm sure, Macmillan will be interested in what these ideas are. And it's something we can all work towards in the future. So, this poor soul, Peter's got it. He's been well warned anyway.
That also links into a question that Liam asked last week, because he was going to see Smoke Free Southwest, and from what I discussed about the meeting with Dan from Dripper, who also attended the meeting, a lot of very positive outcomes. They were very willing to listen to advice. That's all Dan has said to me, but I'm sure somewhere down the line, Liam and Dan, with all their conversations with the group, will have exactly the same effect that UCAT will have on the Marie Curing in your area.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it does no harm to talk to these people, and yes, I'm very convinced that e-cigs did prolong Ron's life, because he had a scan done of where the original tumours were, which was esophageal, and that scan came back completely clear. Nothing there at all. Now, yeah, we can turn around and say, oh, well, that was the chemo. Yeah, I have no doubt it was the chemo. But at least it didn't have the irritants that a cigarette was giving him. That gave it a chance. And that's why I think, the e-cigs can come in. Because cigarettes are an irritant and they cause more damage than enough. I mean, the last time I was in hospital, the consultant asked me the question, how long had I been smoking? I said, well, 43 years. Or you're bound to have done some damage. You'll have COPD. And I said, no, I haven't. Yes, you will have. You will have, definitely after 43 years. And I was tested for COPD. Zilch, nada, nothing. And I said, explain that. I don't have it. Now, all of these things combined, all sort of are a little piece of the jigsaw. And we're going to say, thanks to Dr. Farsalinos and everybody else that's involved, these little pieces are all going to come together. And when they do, we'll have won.
The evidence will win. It has to.
Yeah. You can't change the facts, and the facts are there. And that's what everybody's waiting for, including Cancer UK. They said their little bit today. They want to see more research. Well, of course, we all do. We all want to know that it's perfectly safe. We're not against that at all. And as Peter said today, if Cancer UK would actually do more in terms of research themselves, it would have a lot more impact. And I thought, yeah, I see exactly where you're coming from.
Well, to be fair, Cancer Research UK is funding a hell of a lot of research. I was at one of the funding meetings, and there's going to be a lot coming out that CR UK, amongst others, are going to be funding over the next year or two.
And that's good. That's what we need to hear.
Yes.
That's positive,
Yes.
And we've got no choice. This is the only answer at the moment for the smokers out there. It's the only answer. There is nothing else. The patch has been proved to be very insignificant, shall we say.
And they're a bugger to light as well, even if you can roll them up.
Absolutely. So we will get there. And I've got every intention of annoying them all, until I get them to listen. And that's part of what we do.
Yes.
Part of the fun. I mean, he asked me today what my greatest pleasure was, and I said annoying the bloody consultants. And I wasn't kidding. That's part of the fun. How dare a consultant say to me, you will have COPD? Cheeky sod. No.
Stop sitting on the fence, Chris. Tell it like it really is.
That was when I challenged him to that blow thing,
All right. Did you
I
win?
beat him. Of course I did.
Good girl. That's what I like to hear.
Of course
And
I did.
actually, you having mentioned the blow thing, I think I have the quote of the night from chat.
Oh, God.
Well, there we go.
This comes from Leanna Lawless, and she typed this in when you were talking about it being a habit rather than addiction. She said, yes, it is a habit, and I like sucking. Quote of the night.
Good on you, lal.
I think on that note, shall I wrap up?
I think we're probably better, because if she comes back with a reply to that, we're all in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay then, so tomorrow night we've got Marco and Vapor Scene. Is Gary back this week? I think he is, isn't he?
He is,
I
yes.
think,
He
yeah,
is.
he's been the Isle of Wight. I think he's returned.
Ah, okay.
Isle of Wight. He's
Isle of
beaten the Isle of Wight and he's come back with wood.
On Wednesday, it's me again with this fella behind me.
Ready and man.
Yeah.
Yes. Isn't it
On
lovely?
Thursday, it's this
Isn't it?
chap who's currently full screen.
What? Who? Me?
Yeah,
what?
you.
Am I? Yes. Aye. It'll be July the 2nd. That's somewhat of a fateful day for me. I'll be 60.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, birthday surprises for Mr. Dawn on Thursday then.
Hopefully. I'm holding out for steak and my favourite accompaniment, therefore.
Peas.
Not really.
Okay. Right, so all that remains to be said, I think, is good night, innit?
You bad bugger. That's all my little dreams just got blown up in one go.
Oh, we're back to blowing again, Dave.
Oh.
Alright, so it's good night from Sav. Say good night, Sav.
Good night.
And good night from Mr. Dawn.
Good night from Mr. Dawn.
Good night from Mr. Man.
Good night from Mr. Man.
It's net, haven't I? Wasn't it? Couldn't it? But on when?
And
Yes.
Chief Keith.
Good night.
And last but not least, the inspirational cat. Say good
Good
night.
night, everybody. Nighty nighty.
Pajama, pajama.
Pajama, pajama.
And on that, we'll see you next week, shall we? Ta-ta.